Prison's often called a college of criminality. So you learn different things, you meet different people. And as a result, I was into more, I guess, under the radar type of criminal offending.
I did a small jail stint in WA for refusing to answer questions at the Australian Crime Commission hearing, and I just sort of looked around like I was not interested. He asked me 5 questions, and he said, obviously you're going to refuse to answer these questions, and said you'll be charged, you'll be going to jail. I said, at least I'll be able to look at myself in the mirror in jail. He said, a very small mirror, Mr. Ward.
I did time for possession of a Chinese assault rifle, ecstasy tablets, LSD, methamphetamine, affray charges. They're just your typical bikie sort of activity, I'd say.
I think about 4 months later, I was sentenced for robbery of a Lamborghini in Victoria. Originally charged with armed robbery, drunken weekend out, missed a few flights because having too much fun. One thing led to another, and a bad idea turned into a worse idea, I suppose.
I did serve some time in military prison for some military offending, and that was very interesting. It was nothing like this, pretty much with all the drugs and alcohol and crime. Armed robberies were committed as a result, assaults, and as a result of that offending, I entered the civilian criminal justice system here in South Australia, pled guilty to the offending and was sentenced to 8 years in custody.
There weren't many bikies in Victorian jails, and I remember putting my bags down when I got into Loddon. 3 guys come into my cell and said, bikies go to protection in Victoria. And I was like, well, I don't know what you mean, but mate, like, protection, you pack up and go to protection. I said, mate, things don't go to protection anywhere. I said, I'm not going to protection, so either make me or get the fuck out of my cell.
In the morning when I walked out, I looked to my right and I saw 2 massive outlaw motorcycle gang members, just covered in tattoos, and reality really set in then that, this is jail, this is prison.
Well, it's easy, you get told what to do and when to do it. You don't even have to think. It depends what division, what jail you're in. Like B division, maximum security in Yatala, your day starts at 7:45. You get fed your breakfast through a slot.
You'd get unlocked, or you'd probably hear something come through the intercom saying 10 minutes to unlock. Every man would be required to stand by their door while DCS officers would do a head count, make sure no one's ducked out the window. And then once the head count's done, there's mop buckets come out, and there's everyone's cleaning their cells.
You'd get yard 3 times a week for an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Just walked a lot of jail laps, played backgammon and cards, and just did more jail laps.
3:45, your day's done, you're back in the slot, back of your cell with the fed through the slot.
Jail wasn't really a bother. I had some good friends in there and had some good times in there. Jail
to me was a bit of an escape, a bit of a rest from life.
I got involved in as many programs while I was being sentenced as possible, because I knew that I didn't want to keep coming back. So military boot camps, drug and alcohol programs.
Backhoe front end loader licence, did my white card, traffic management course, first aid course. I got all those tickets, but my whole thought was just hitting the ground running and back into the swing of the club.
The streets call you when you get out of prison. It's like it's an entity of its own that whispers your name and says, come back, I'm here.